So just to give you an idea what we're going to cover tonight at our info session, we're just going to talk a little bit about our Zoom etiquette, talk a little bit about check-in. Check-in is something we do every day here at Learn. It's something we do in the classroom. It's a great way to get started, break the ice a little bit. And then we're going to hop right into what we do here at Learn. We're going to talk about our program. We're going to talk about our admissions, our onboarding requirements, classroom, internship, what life is like after Learn and how we help you get a job. We have the whole team here. We're going to talk a little bit about what everybody specializes in here. So it's really great that you are here. You're going to get all your questions answered. And just so you know, we do have the chat function here. So anything you see, you have a question while we're going on, the whole team is here. We're answering questions as we go. But at the very end, we're going to leave some time open for questions as well. So it's a great time to unmute yourself, a great time to just ask anything that you didn't hear during the presentation, and we'll leave a little bit of time for that at the very end. So a little bit about our Zoom etiquette. Our Zoom room is a brave space, just like our classroom. And to promote a spirit of inclusivity, we make sure that everyone is welcoming, friendly, and patient. We also ask that everyone be respectful to each other. And the big thing is we want you to participate, engage, turn on your camera. We're really excited to see you all. So please, it's really important you do that because this event looks just exactly how our classroom operates. Our classroom is 100% remote, and engagement and being present is a really big part of that and a really big part of being a successful student. So we're really excited to see all your amazing faces. And like I said, at the very end, we want to hear your questions. We want to hear anything that we didn't cover, and we're going to leave some time at the very end for that. So we're going to hop right into check-in. So check-in, this is how we start the day every class in our class. But today, what we're going to do in the chat function, please introduce yourself. We want to hear your name. We want to hear where you live. What's so awesome about our program is we're headquartered here in San Diego, but we're a national program. We serve students all across the United States. So we're really excited to hear where all of you are coming from. And then a little bit of fun, if you could have any superpower, what would it be? And what we're going to do is, here's the questions here, but we're actually going to pass it off to all of our Learn team members, and we're going to popcorn from each other. And if you don't know what popcorn is one person starts and then they get to pick somebody else. So we're going to run through our team and they're going to introduce themselves. But right after that, we're going to popcorn to some people in the audience because we really want to learn more about you. We really want to have, hear where you're coming from and who you are and what superpower you have, most importantly. So be prepared, be on your toes, but then you get the power and you get a popcorn to something else. So it'll be fun. So a little bit about me and a little bit about our team. So my name's TJ Kidder. I'm the director of marketing here at Learn, and I am from San Diego. I'm born and raised in San Diego. San Diego is my home. I went to San Diego State. I've never left. And honestly, I haven't found any reason to leave yet. I love my home. And if I could pick any superpower, honestly, I might pick more hands. I love to cook, and I could just imagine myself like an octopus with like 8 hands, chopping one thing, cooking another, stewing something else. And at work, it would make myself way more efficient. So I could honestly see myself being an octopus or something. And I'm going to pass it off to Sarah. Sarah, take it away.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah, and I live in San Diego. If I could have a superpower, I want like telekinesis, where I can like move things, like being able to like turn the light switch off from across the room, or grab that donut and bring it my way, something like that. Feeling good. I'll pass it to Kumba.
Thank you, sir. My name is Kumba. I live here in San Diego as well. If I could have any superpower, I think I would have the ability to maybe fly or disappear. That's what I would have. I'm going to pass it over to Marquista.
Hi, everybody. My name is Marquista. I'm an enrollment manager here at Learn. I'm from Miami, and because I'm a mom of some young boys, my superpower that I like is invincibility and the ability to kind of project that around them and protect them as well. I will pass it on to Vanessa.
Hey everyone, I'm Vanessa Nuno. I grew up in San Diego. Let's see, superpower would probably be time travel. Yeah, That sounds like a good one. I'll pass it over to Chantel.
Hi, everyone. I am on the road. My husband is driving. Everything's safe. I am also in San Diego. I am the internship program manager here at Learn Academy. And if I could have any superpower, I would probably pick conjuration, like being able to conjure up things at will. Like, hey, I need a pencil. Oh, I don't have one. Oh, look, here's one. That kind of thing. Just have instant access to whatever little thing I need would definitely be mine. I will pass it to Vanessa Bastian.
Hello, I'm Vanessa. I'm the community engagement specialist here at Learn. I am also from San Diego and currently live in San Diego. I love it. Love San Diego. It's pretty hard to beat. And my superpower, I think if I had a superpower, I wish that I could have the ability to freeze time so that I could get more done. I love my job here at Learn. I'm busy. There's always more to do in the day. And I have two girls who are 3 and 6. So there's just always stuff happening there. And I also really love to make things in my spare time. And I really lack time to do everything. So that would be my choice. Loving how active the chat is. It's really cool to get to meet you guys. I think, do we have any other staff here? Paul, great. Popcorn to Paul.
Hi, everybody. My name is Paul Hutchinson. I also live in San Diego, originally from the north of England, Manchester. I'm part of the career services team. And my special power, I think, would be teleportation, giving myself the gift of time and saving on gas money as well. I think that would be pretty cool. I think we've gone through all of the staff. So I think, can I popcorn off to Beatrice, please? Sorry to pick on you.
Hi, my name is Beatrice. I am from Columbia, Maryland. If I had a superpower, I was thinking of like teleportation, but I like flying too. Like I like being high up there. And it'll save on travel costs because it's so expensive. I don't know, do I popcorn to somebody else? Like, yes.
Yeah, you have the power. Anybody. So stay on your toes, everyone.
Meeny, miny, mo. Let's see. Okay, I'll popcorn to Scott.
Hello.
Hello, Scott. Yeah. Where do you live and what superpower do you want? Wonderful. And Beatrice, go ahead. You can do one more. Unfortunately, thank you, Scott, for participating. And I appreciate that for hopping in the chat.
Okay, popcorn to Alicia.
Hi, I'm Alicia. I'm from San Diego, but right now I do live in Hawaii. If I had a superpower, I would want telekinesis because I'm not gonna lie, I hate cleaning, and being able to do that from my couch while watching TV seems like a pretty good opportunity. So that's my superpower that I would choose. I'm going to go with DeAndre.
How are you guys doing? My name is DeAndre. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I live in San Diego. I'm also in the car right now, as you guys can tell. But if I had one superpower, I would make it time travel as well, because I've broken a lot of things in my life and I'm trying to go back and fix it. And let's see, we can popcorn over to Mr. Jose Salas.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jose Salas.
and I'm originally from San Diego, but I currently live in South Carolina. If I had a superpower, I would be to create a bubble that would slow down time, kind of going back to stopping time, but instead just slowing it down so I can take it, I don't know, get ahead of things. But yeah. Do I pick another one? Alrighty. Sorry. Let me see if I'm pronounced this right. Alexis Kimber.
Are you able to chime in, Alexis? Here, we'll do one more. We do have a tight schedule here tonight. And actually, so why don't we popcorn off to Will? And Will, can you please round us off tonight?
Hello, everybody. My name is Will. I'm originally from New Hampshire. I live in San Diego. In the chat, I originally said telepathy, but now that I think about it, actually, teleportation does sound pretty sweet. I'm currently making my way back home from the Middle East. So just getting home would be great and not having to fly.
I love it. I love the audible halfway through, rethinking it. And thank you all for joining, participating. It was really great to hear all of your answers. And what's really great and what's really awesome is just hearing where all of you are coming from and how our Learn community has grown, from San Diego all the way to helping everybody all across the nation. And that really kind of dives into like where Learn is and how it was started and what at the heart of our company is. And we were founded in 2015. We just celebrated our 8-year anniversary. We are almost approaching 600 graduates, which I think we might have actually just passed 600 graduates, which is so awesome. And we're family ran from the top down. So our CEO, and we're women led. Chelsea Kaufman, who is our CEO, Rob Kaufman, same last names. They are married. So they both started this company 8 years ago, and it's family ran from the top down. And part of our mission is, really about creating pathways to help anyone excel and enter the tech industry from any level. And we're really passionate about all of that. And really, we believe that if you have the curiosity, compassion, and drive to learn, that we can help you enter and excel in the tech industry. And that's what we're all about and what we've always been about since 2015. And just a little bit about what we do and some of the great things that we're doing here at Learn. Like I mentioned, we have almost 600 graduates or more. Last year alone, we did 150 students, 139 new graduates. But at the heart of what we do, and like we said, is promoting a better tech industry where everyone is accepted. And what's really awesome is our program now allows us to break down a lot of location biases by serving students all across the United States. So we have a lot of really awesome communities that we have built here at Learn, a lot of communities that we support. So thank you all for joining and having an interest in joining our awesome family here at Learn Academy. And I'm going to pass it off to Kumba, who's going to talk a little bit more about our program here at Learn.
Thank you so much, TJ. It's great to see so many of y'all, Will and Beatrice and Jose. I know we've all spoken. We're looking forward to seeing, meeting so many more of y'all in the coming weeks. I'm going to go ahead and introduce my colleague here. She'll introduce herself and then she's going to take it away. We're part of your enrollment management team. Go ahead, Marquista.
Hey, everyone again. Yeah, it's Marquista here. As Kumba said, +1, it's great to see some of your faces again and names. And if I haven't met you yet, I look forward to meeting you hopefully in the coming weeks. So a little bit about the structure here at Learn. This is a 4-month live remote full stack web developer program. So what does that mean? For 3 months, you're going to meet and collaborate with your classmates and your instructors in our virtual classroom. The schedule is a full-time schedule. So your classes are going to meet Mondays through Fridays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and that's Pacific Standard Time. All right. During the 4th month of the program, you'll go through a 1-month remote coding internship with a tech company or a startup And that gives you an opportunity to get that real world experience that will help build your resume, as well as mentorship, which is important as you're developing your career in the tech space. Throughout the duration of the program, Learn's going to provide you with a laptop that has all of the software that you need for the Learn curriculum. If you are local to the San Diego area, a few days prior to the cohort start, you'll come by our co-working space and pick up that laptop. And if you happen to be further away, either an hour away or out of state, we will mail that laptop to you at no cost to you. Now, we understand the whole reason you're doing this program is to go ahead and get that job, right, in the industry. And so career services is an important part of the program. And after graduation, we build a career plan that's specific to your goals, and we also help you with job placement after you graduate. One of the things that we really love about Learn is the community that we've been able to build and the level of support that students feel and experience as they're going through the program and even after graduation. So we look forward to having you be a part of that community as well. So how do you get started? We can go to the next slide. The first step in the process is to submit a complete and thorough application. And I see your question, and yes, the classes are all 100% remote. You would attend in a virtual classroom. Think of it very much like how we are now, right? In this setting, that's how your classes are going to be, all right? So the first step in the process is to submit a complete and thorough application. If you are one of our vet tech applicants, when you submit your application, be sure to also submit your vet tech certificate of eligibility or your COE, all right? Once you've submitted the application, you will be prompted to schedule an interview. All right, there's a few things to note about the interview. One is that it's an important part of the admissions process. And when we're considering applications, we consider both that completed application and the interview as part of that enrollment decision. When it's time for your scheduled interview, we conduct those via Zoom. It's an opportunity for us to learn more about your background, kind of what you're looking for in a program and in a career, and make sure that the learning environment is a good fit for you and this path is a good fit for you. While it's not a job interview, it is really good to approach it that way. Think of it as, the start of this new career for yourself. Another requirement that you'll need to kind of check off the list is attending our weekend prep course. It's called Jumpstart. There's 3 things I want you to know about Jumpstart. One, it provides you with some of the front-end coding fundamentals that you'll need to have under your belt. 2, it's an opportunity for you to meet our instructors and your potential cohort classmates. So you can get started on that networking and building those relationships, all right? And 3, I've spoken to some of you. I know some of you are considering, is this a good fit for me, right? This gives you an opportunity to get in the classroom, experience it, and really make that fully informed decision as to whether this is the path that you want to take. Once you've completed all of your admissions tasks, right, the enrollment committee is going to review your application and make a decision, all right? If you are accepted to the program, we will send you a deposit request for the $500. Your payment of that deposit will secure your seat in the cohort. It gets applied ultimately to your tuition in the program, and it also signals for us that you're serious about moving forward with the program. And that's important because we have a limited number of students that we accept into each cohort. Now, if you are one of our veteran applicants, that deposit requirement does not apply to you because, of course, your tuition payment structure is going to go through the VA. All right. Once you're accepted and once you've paid that deposit, then you will move on to the onboarding process. And Vanessa will talk more about that momentarily. But first, I want to hand it back over to Kumba. She's going to provide some information on our financing and scholarships, as well as the vet tech eligibility requirements.
Thank you so much, Marquista. One of the things that Learn recognizes is that this is an investment for students, not only of their time, but their resources. So we try to make some options available through financing and scholarships. There's a couple ways students can go about financing their tuition. They can either pay for it directly, or they can elect to use one of our financing partners. One of the ways is Climb, which is a payment service where you pay one payment a month for 4 months. Another is you can elect to fill out an additional application through one of our financing partners, Meritize, where you would fill out application. If you're approved, they would then cover your tuition. Upon graduation, you would have the 3-month grace period, and then you would start making small payments after you obviously 3 months after graduation. And then we also have scholarships, right? We have some scholarships that you can get up to $2,000 if you identify as a woman or come from a diverse background. These are also additional applications that you can fill out, and then you would be considered. If you want more information about these scholarships, you can request information meeting where we can kind of dive deeper into the details about our different financing options as well as our scholarship. Okay. Next, we'll talk specifically, as we've been saying, Learn is very honored to be a supporter of our veterans community. We take that very seriously, which is why we are the approved vet tech provider. And for folks, the vet tech program is the Veteran Employment through Technology and Education course. We're currently looking at some other options to expand our programming to other veterans, but for right now, we are only a vet tech approved provider. And in order to know if you qualify for vet tech, these are some of the requirements of that program. Next slide, please. Yeah. So first, thank you. For students to qualify for vet tech, obviously you have to be a veteran. If you can't be on active duty, or you have to be within 180 days of separation from active duty. You qualify through the VA Education Assistance under the GI Bill. They do not use the GI Bill. They use it to determine your eligibility, but it does not come out of that funding source, right? And you have to have at least 1 day of unexpired GI Bill entitlements to qualify for vet tech. If you meet all these qualifications, you can go on the VA website and apply for your certificate of eligibility. That process can take up to 30 days to arrive. So we tell students all the time, if you're waiting for your certificate of eligibility to arrive, go ahead and start the admissions process. Obviously, admissions decision cannot be made without the COE, but at least you can have all those tasks done as we wait for the COE to arrive. And obviously, you have to attend a required information session just like this, because there's all types of red tape involved with the VA. So we want to make sure everybody is on the same page. And then complete all the requirements of admissions that Marquisa went over a little bit earlier. Okay. One thing that we do want our veteran students to know about is, if you are accepted into the program, we upload your information into the VA1 system and you start class. And for whatever reason, if you determine that, you know what, I don't want to be part of this program anymore, or you're terminated from the program, that will affect your benefits for 18 months, right? You would have to wait 18 months before you can access that program again, which is why it's really important to attend that required prep course. So this way, you know that whether or not this is right for you, so you don't go through that process and then ultimately something happens, you can't finish, and then your benefits are affected. Our program is 100% online, which means your BAH is paid at the online remote rate. I'm not privy to specifically what that amount is. You would have to go to the VA website to find out the difference, but the BAH will be on the online rate. Okay, next slide. All right, I'm gonna pass it back over to Marquisa, and she'll kind of round things out for us here.
Great, thanks, Kuba. So these are the upcoming cohorts for the year. As you can see, we have a cohort starting each month through the rest of the year. The Alpha cohort starting next week is currently closed, but we are accepting applications for Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. For those of you who have already submitted applications for Bravo, if your admissions tasks have been completed prior to then, we'll start issuing first round of enrollment decisions on the 21st. And that second round, same thing, if those tasks have been completed, will go out on the 28th. If you've applied to the Charlie cohort, similarly, if those admissions tasks are completed by then, we'll issue our first round of decisions that first week in March. All right. If you are interested in moving forward with the program and you haven't applied yet, we encourage you to get this process started early, given the popularity of our program. Thanks for your time. I'm going to pass it over to Vanessa to talk more about our onboarding process.
Hey everyone, I'm Vanessa. I'm the operations manager for Learn. I'm going to talk about onboarding. I will briefly run through the list of things that onboarding entails. If we can go to the next slide, please. Perfect. Okay, so once you've made your deposit, non-vet tech students, this is the list of things that we'll have to go through in your onboarding process. Number one is the student information. That includes emergency contact information and shipping address. That's really important to get done. Number two on that list is Slack and social media. We use Slack for all of our communication within the cohort, but it's also where all of our community comes together. So once you have been added to that space, you're welcome to network, and we encourage that. Number three, we'll go through tuition options and getting your payments set up prior to the start of class. Number four, I will send you some tutorials to work through. Something to note here is that it's a good idea to work through those tutorials prior to meeting with our Director of Academic Experience, who you'll meet in a second. That way you can work through any technical questions you have during that meeting. Number five on that list is the Zoom meeting with our Director of Academic Experience, Sarah. Please be respectful of the time that you schedule with Sarah. Give 24-hour notice of any changes. As we get closer to the start of the cohort, we'll get official documents over to you via PandaDocs. So we'll get you to sign all of those. And then, as Marquisa stated earlier, we'll get a laptop out to you. Next slide, please. Just a few things to keep in mind. Please be sure to provide an email address that you access regularly. We will over-communicate with you. I will over-communicate with you. You will get weekly emails from me after you've made your deposit. So just be sure to check your inbox, spam, junk folders, voicemail, text messages. I will get to you however I can. Number three on that list, we do reserve the right to rescind any admission offers due to unresponsiveness during the onboarding process. So please don't let that happen. Communicate with us as much as you can about any issues that arise so that we can work together to get to a resolution. And that's it for onboarding. I'll pass it over to Sarah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah. I'm the Director of Academic Experience. And back in the beginning of 2018, I was exactly where you are today. I was deciding whether I wanted to change careers. I come from a non-technical background and I went to learn as a student. And I discovered in that process that, first of all, coding was really hard, but that I really, really liked it. I really liked the art of creating code. And I really, really fell in love with Learn. I really like the community. I really like the approach to education from a very humanist standpoint, and the mission of making tech more available and inclusive was kind of the thing that I felt was missing from my life. And so I'm very biased, but I feel like what we're doing here is really, really cool. And I started my journey at Learn by volunteering to help future students and work at Jumpstart and things like that, and then grow with the company ever since. And now I'm working with my 24th cohort and I've had over 300 students. All right, so let's talk about the classroom. As mentioned, it is a 16-week program. The first 12 weeks are in the classroom. We are live remote, so that means that our classroom looks like this. It's all of us together in the same virtual space at the same time. So our program is Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and we work out of the Pacific time zone. It's the only program we offer, and it is full-time. It's an immersive experience. And at Learn, we are a very collaborative environment. Those are our top-down core values at Learn. So we want to create a space where everybody in our space can come together and work to improve themselves, can struggle together, can support each other, can learn from each other, and that everybody has a journey that they're moving forward on. Because coding is really hard. It is absolutely difficult to learn how to code no matter what your background is, but it is doable, and I can attest to that. So I want to make sure that I'm doing my part to make sure that the barrier of entrance is low, because technology needs all of you, and technology needs diversity in every way, and it needs input from all the people who use it, which is everyone. There was a point, really not too long ago when technology was made and used by a really small group of people, and the people who made technology were predominantly in a single demographic. And we can look back on that and thank them for their contributions, but technology is too integrated into our lives, and it's too important to not have the contribution of all of society into how we're creating tech. because technology is in our cars and in credit cards and in entertainment. It's in medical devices. And, of course, we all depend on our phones for functioning in the world. You can't apply to a job or open a bank account or rent an apartment or even just buy things without having access to your phone. Traveling is all dependent on applications. And so at that point, technology is not a luxury item anymore. It's crucial to the function of our daily lives in society. And so if technology is a necessity for everybody to use, then we need to make sure that there's a diverse group of people who are making the technology available. And that is kind of our goal at Learn, is to create a space where we're getting a whole bunch of diversity into the tech sphere and that we are making technology more inclusive. All right, so this is kind of a listed here sort of like a typical day, quote unquote, but truthfully, there's no typical day at Learn, because depending on the topic or guest speakers or anything else can augment the day slightly, and every day is a little bit different, but this follows a similar structure. So you can think of this program as being a very intense full-time job for 16 weeks. Live remote, we're on camera looking at each other throughout the day. We open the classroom a little bit early. We hope that the students, sign on, get settled in, and then we start class promptly at 9 Pacific. We start the day kind of like we did here with doing this check-in, answering questions and answering kind of a fun icebreaker question and just sort of shaking the dust off and getting the day started. We move then to a lecture. So one of the instructors will share their screen and code live for you, kind of talking through their process, pointing out vocabulary words, and kind of showing you how the evolution of creating code works. And then the important part is that you get to do it. So we're very, very hands-on. So you take the topics and all the notes and resources that we provide for you, and then you go and code. So you have the opportunity to be very hands-on in this learning environment. We have lunch at noon Pacific, and then the afternoon's kind of a rinse and repeat. We'll possibly have another lecture, some kind of speaker. And again, there's a hands-on portion. We come back at the end of the day and kind of reflect on the day and wrap up. All right, here is a list of requirements for the cohort. There's a couple that I just want to highlight here. One of the most broad expectations in the classroom is that participation is required in many ways. That participation can mean that we expect that you're coding along with your peers, that you're engaging with your instructors, you're engaging with your cohort mates, that you're asking for help when you get stuck, and then that you're taking time to help others if it's something that you understand and someone else is blocked. It also means that we expect that your camera is on, so that we are looking at each other's faces. That allows us to communicate more effectively, because nonverbal communication, even in a virtual space, is incredibly important. It helps with engagement, it helps with accountability, and making sure that you're committed and present in the class. And to do that, we need to be able to see each other's faces. Attendance is also very important, because we are taking a huge amount of content of learning the foundations of development, and we're shrinking it down and presenting it in a super short period of time. So attendance is super important. And to be successful in this program, you're going to have to make sacrifices with your life for the short period of time and prioritize your learning. Another just quick one that I want to put out, sorry, TJ, just the last one is that we do provide you a MacBook for the duration of the cohort. It's not something that you'll need during Jumpstart. You can use any kind of personal computer. When I say any, we do need the participation. So you need to be able to share your camera, share your microphone. You need to be able to screen share with your cohort mates. So it needs to, a tablet doesn't have enough power to run Zoom and all the applications. So it needs to at least be a basic personal computer. And if you have any questions, you can definitely reach out. But for Learn, for the program, we provide you a MacBook. And you can think of it like your job is giving you a laptop, so it is expected that you use it. If you are not a Mac person, I'm sorry, but the technologies that we use in our program are integrated into the Mac operating system. So it is a requirement that you use the laptop we provide. And if you have a Mac and you already have one that you like, again, great, but we expect you to use ours during the program, and I will absolutely provide you with all of the ways to set up your personal Mac with the same environment once the class is wrapping up and coming to an end. And I think I am now done, and I will pass it on.
Thanks, Sarah. I made it home, guys. I'm not in a car anymore. What Sarah has talked about for the 12 weeks that the classroom portion of our 16-week course is going on is very true for like a day in the life. But the last 4 weeks of your time as a student with Learn Academy is in our internship program. Learn is very unique in the bootcamp space in that we guarantee all of our students an internship as a part of the course. So that means that you go through 12 weeks of learning, and then we partner with companies to host you for 4 weeks where you get to actually apply the skills that you've been learning and learn all new ones. So this is an opportunity to get on the job training. The companies that we work with are very diverse, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But during the internship, you're going to be able to get mentorship from beyond just the Learn instructors. You're going to be able to start networking with people who are actually doing this as their job and can point you in the right direction. The majority of our partners use a different tech stack than what we teach in the classroom. So you're going to be able to learn new coding languages, new frameworks, new technologies to broaden your skills. And of course, you're interested in Learn because getting into a job in technology is what you're interested in, and being able to add your internship experience to your resume and portfolio is going to make you a really excellent candidate when you enter the job market. Thank you. So in Learn's history, we have worked with 144 different company partners. When our students go to these companies, we do not expect the companies to hire you at the end of the internship. That being said, many of our company partners work with us for the internship program because they see it as an awesome way to get access to excellent junior talent. And this is a way that they create a pipeline for junior talent that they do want to hire. Over the many years, our program has averaged at about 25% of our students get hired out of their internship by the company that they were placed at. That fluctuates year to year, but that is a really great average we're very proud of, and have been able to keep up as we've grown. Also, beyond just the internship, getting hired by your internship, if that is not an option, many companies do offer extension opportunities for students. So 4 weeks is the minimum requirement for the internship, but 4 weeks goes by really fast, and many students want the opportunity to stick around longer, keep practicing, keep developing their skills and getting mentorship. And so the extension opportunity is something that many companies will offer for them to stick around a little bit longer. Scott, I do see your question of, is this a paid internship? It is not required to be a paid internship. Many of our companies do offer paid internship opportunities, but it is not a guarantee. I would say it's maybe 20% of the companies that we work with do paid internships. So during the internship, like I said, there's a whole world of technologies. On the previous slide, there was a list. You don't have to go back, TJ. But this is just an example of some of the technologies that our interns go and learn that are not taught in our program. So the opportunities are really vast, and you can imagine all the different areas of technology that you can go and work in after your internship. Next slide. The process to get placed in your internship happens while you are still in the classroom. So our company partners who sign on to participate for your cohort, they come and present briefly. It's about a 30-minute presentation to the class saying, hey, this is our company, this is what we do, this is the type of project interns are going to work on. That's the opportunity for the class to do some Q&A. Asking questions about the company culture. What is a day of, like, how do you structure your internship? What does mentorship look like? After those presentations, students will interview with typically 3 to 5 companies. So you interview with these companies, and then you tell us what your preferences are on where you would like to go for internship. The companies also rate the students in the class that they interviewed and express their preferences of who they would most like to take for internship. Again, every student is guaranteed an internship. We take those preferences into consideration, but ultimately we as a Learn staff control the placement of where we put our students for internship. We're taking into account preferences on both sides, but we're also taking into account good pairings in the class. We have a very, very strong preference for not sending anybody alone to internship. So if we're sending these two people, how have they worked together in class? Does someone's background in a certain industry or certain technology really mesh well with what this company is hoping to build or perform? One of my favorite stories is we had a student come through our program who was a registered nurse. She'd gone to nursing school and was transitioning into technology for a variety of reasons. One of our internship partners for her cohort developed augmented reality software for spinal surgeons. So her background in healthcare really meshed excellently with the technology that was getting developed at this internship opportunity. She still had to apply, not apply, she still had to interview with them, but she did excellent in the interview and we were able to place her there. And that was a really amazing matching situation for her. So that's one example where we would be aware of her prior experience from her resume, what she'd shared with us in class. The instructors also really play a huge part in the internship matching process, knowing who has different strengths in different areas, who, again, with the pairing can help build each other up through the process. So that interview process happens. We announce your matches and introduce you to your host company and your contact there. And the final week of class is dedicated to preparation for your internship. So that could be beginning to study new technologies you're going to be using. That could be taking the time to sign NDAs or get paperwork back to them. There's a variety of things that happen in that final week that help set you up for the best success while you are in your internship. I think that's my final slide. Oh, no. So like I said, the variety of companies that we've worked with are incredibly diverse in the industries that they come from. These are just a couple of the companies that we've worked with recently, but some really excellent companies, variety of sizes from very small startups just launching their products to large companies with multiple development teams of dozens of engineers on each team. So it really varies cohort to cohort who we work with for the internships, but it is something we're very proud of with all the community connections we've made in San Diego and are spreading around the country through this program. I guess I do have one more. When you are in the internship for those 4 weeks, it's not just a bye, good luck, we'll see you when you're done. We check in with you very frequently. I, as the program manager, am always available. I have an open door policy. You can message me. We can jump on a Zoom call if you have problems or questions. You meet with your cohort bi-weekly as well. We have a Zoom meeting where everyone jumps back in and sees each other, catches up a little bit, tells us what you're working on and if you have any blockers. And while you are still placed there, the companies that we work with are vetted for good mentorship. They know that the interns that are getting placed with, they understand what our curriculum is, what you've been trained in, and how to best help you learn and grow during your time there. So you're going to be able to get experience in a code base that is much larger than what the classroom can provide you with. And also you'll be able to get feedback on your performance and your code to make you that much more hireable when the internship is complete. And speaking of hireable, I will pass it off to Paul.
Thank you, Chantal. Yeah, I'm the Career Services Coordinator. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our involvement within the classroom. So yeah, just a bit of an overview of what we do. It runs parallel. Our curriculum runs parallel with the technical skills that you'll learn in the classroom. It's not just about having those technical skills. It's about being able to communicate those to potential employers. And so we spend a lot of time making sure that you're able to do that. So we develop the skills and tools needed to get a position after graduation. And yeah, having these tools in place and taking this part very, very seriously goes a massive way to and increases the speed in which you will get a job. Part of our curriculum also will get you to become an expert networker. We actually spend an entire week looking at professional development. And after you have graduated after week 16. We can set up meetings, you can ask for advice and work together to improve your resumes and all of those different tools again. And of course, as has been mentioned, you have access to the greater Learn community and use that as a network to help get work as well. So here's what we do in the classroom. First of all, the Career Services Department organises the alumni panel. These are people who we invite graduates to come into the classroom to talk about their experience before, during and after Learn, and it's an opportunity for the cohorts to ask questions of people who have gone on to make a real success of what they have learnt in the classroom. We also organise guest speakers, and they come in to talk about their expertise, which can include things like design principles, accessibility, freelancing, and so on. I also introduced the concept of a portfolio as well, which is a very important tool when you are trying to showcase your skills to potential employers. And I outlined the sorts of things that you should be including within that portfolio website. I mentioned that we do spend an entire week dedicated to this. And on day one, we talk about how to start to communicate the idea of you being a web developer, which might be for the very first time that you're doing that. So it's a chance to kind of finesse your unique story and the unique proposition that you are with all of the transferable skills that you've acquired through various other work experiences. On day two, we dig into writing resumes that reflect your technical skills and are pointed more towards the tech field. We practice on day three, we have technical interviews, and so we spend some time just preparing for those, and we also organize some mock interviews so that you it's not quite as a shock when you get into the real world. You have an idea of the sorts of things that you can expect during the interview process. Day four, we have the tools to build a network, including LinkedIn and what to do at various events. And day five is more of a rounding up, but we still have all sorts of people coming in to talk to you about salary negotiations. And we have tech recruiters coming in, and they talk to you about what they want to see from entry-level web developers and the things that they like to see you stand out with. And after graduation, like I said, we like to stay in the loop. That means we're working together on individual job search plans, building a network, continuing to build your portfolio and being ready for interviews. I've started to introduce webinars to cover all sorts of different things that will help during your job search. And I will send out weekly newsletters that will cover a whole bunch of things, obviously new opportunities, but networking events, VA specific resources as well, and ways to stay sharp once you've left the classroom. A couple more just things. It's not just developer roles that you'll be able to apply for, but lots of people have gone on to be able to apply for design roles, tech support roles such as QA engineers and so forth, and more sort of tech adjacent roles such as CEO strategists, scrum masters, project managers, that sort of things. So there's a whole raft of opportunities once you have left, once you've graduated rather from Learn Academy. And here's just a couple, I'll just highlight a couple of these opportunities of our graduates rather. I just want to focus on Michael G. He interned at a company called Cetus Media. He was then taken on full time after his internship. He then moved away to a new company, but was then asked to come back as their manager of engineering, and that's where he continues to be now, and in fact brings our other cohorts in on internships as well. So it's very cyclical, and Michael works well with us to this day. And also LJ. She again interned at a place called Synced Up. She was taken on full-time as a software engineer there straight away, but then has recently just moved roles at the same company, but this time in a different role as a project manager. And so again, there's just so many different ways that you can your career can get to once you've graduated from Learn Academy. I think that's about it from me. I'll pass it back over to TJ.
Awesome. Thank you, Learn team. Really appreciate all of you sharing all of this wonderful information. I hope it answered all of your questions, but that does bring us to the end of our presentation, and that does give you all the ability to ask any questions that we didn't get to. I see a lot of activity already happened in the chat. So first off, I see Forrest. Why don't you go ahead? You've raised your hand. You right on point. So that's a good point. If anybody has a question, you can raise your hand. I think that's a great option. And we'll also pop into the chat and answer some of those questions once we finish up with Forrest.
Okay, my name is Dr. Poindexter. I've been a professor, so I asked the who, what, when, where, and how. This is me. I'm just going to run through. Don't ask anything right now. I'm running through. I might need to speak to a lot of people, and I want to know what is check-in. How does that? I mean, what happens? Pair programming. I think you answered that. Lectures. I want to know more about that. How are questions asked through lectures? Do you have a snapshot, or is there a board we can go to? Screen size of the Mac. Are there tests? Does prior college assist with determining salary? What coding languages are you teaching? Now, the for every instance, I want a console log to do something. If, and then else if, and then else finally. And then I want to know about loops and arrays. And then spreading, because when you do arrays, you're cloning something, and when you spread, you are creating a new instance of it. And that's a problem. I want to make sure it is the answer to my knowledge. Full stack, what are you teaching? Are you teaching HTML, Java, Python, blockers? And I guess a block will be one of my blockers are patients. And then database creation. Do you have a program whereby we can create a database? And then finally, for the person that was talking about the career, he spoke about a person, they went to another company, came back as a project manager or something like that. He doesn't mention how long it takes. Did you go away for a month and they came back? Do you go away for a year and come back? So I'm trying to think about the advancement opportunities within companies once we go in there and they see that we can perform the job. That's it. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Forrest. I appreciate all of your awesome questions. We're going to try and answer all of them as we can. I'm going to pass it off to Sarah real quick, maybe to start us off. We have a lot of great questions about the program. So if you could just maybe talk a little bit about what our full stack program is, what are some of the programming language we dive into? I know he had a lot of great questions about some of the hyper specific things that we dive into, like loops and arrays. And I know we cover a lot of that great stuff. So I'm just going to pass it off to you, and maybe you can just give a high level of what we do in the class.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of those questions that you have are awesome, and that's actually what we cover in the boot camp. So that the answer would be within our curriculum, but generally, kind of high level speaking, our full stack development is that we cover, like, our stack is React, which is a JavaScript library, and Rails, which is a Ruby framework, and working together, we create a full stack application. So anytime you're working with a website of any kind, you're going to have HTML, you're going to have CSS, you're going to have JavaScript. Those are the foundations of the web. But then we incorporate our databases through the Ruby on Rails framework. We use a Postgres database, which is a SQL flavor, a relational database that holds persistent storage. And we also have a ton of information on our website if you're looking for more of those like broad questions. If anything pops up later that you want to explore further, I would say our website's a really great resource.
Wonderful. And I think you just had one question real quick, which I think is kind of important about tests. I know a lot of people ask, do we have tests? Do we have grades? What is what is like the grading scale, which we don't really have. So I'll let you kind of
For sure. So we focus, so we're
We're
predominantly, like, we are an education setting, of course, but we're predominantly workforce training, and getting an A is not going to get you a job. So we don't really think of this in terms of grades. We think of it in terms of skill acquisition. So we follow a model of the process of learning, and are you gaining skills while you're in our program? So we have ways of assessing skill acquisition, and yes, there's like work to be done to kind of show your thought process, and then we can help you kind of identify where you're at in your skill acquisition and move your skill acquisition forward over time. But we don't have grades, because grades aren't going to ultimately help you get a job. And one of the interesting things about like coming to Learn is that people often have a hard time removing former, structured public education systems from job training, where we define success by, oh, well, I got a good grade on this paper, or someone evaluated my work in a way that's positive in this sort of, rubric of a 100% being a perfect score. And that just doesn't happen. And so we have to kind of remove that from our minds and know that learning is the goal. And so the progression of going through the grind of training your brain how to learn is ultimately going to make you successful in the big picture. And so we really focus a lot on that and redefining how you think about success. And so the short answer is no, we don't have grades.
TJ, the reason why I'm asking this is because I know with vet tech, that we can be dropped if we're not up to standard, up to speed, correct? Am I wrong? We have to keep current, and some things are very difficult to learn. That's why I asked about the if, else if, and the arrays. That's why I asked about that. And for every instance, console log. That's why I asked, because that's very difficult to learn. And how do you evaluate our strengths more likely, I guess?
Yeah, so we evaluate all those things by showing, giving you examples to work through, challenges to work through, and then having you produce your code. I mean, and that's like, we work on those types of concepts inside of our fundamentals of JavaScript. So we're covering those fundamentals in terms of, okay, given this input, how do we produce this output? Here's a bunch of tools to make that happen. And so the skill acquisition is all about, can you effectively produce an outcome given a particular input? And so yes, you do have to participate in class, you have to meet requirements, you have to be on time, you have to be present every day in order to continue on with the class.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Forrest. I know you had a ton of questions, and I hope we answered most of them. We have a few other individuals who have some other questions as well. I'm going to pass it off to them. We have some more time. We'll pop back into them. We actually might answer a few of them. So I'm going to let Evelyn, who has her hand raised as well, you can go ahead and answer your question, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Evelyn. I just had a question for someone that is starting from the basics regarding the internships, your partner companies. Is there some sort of comparison tool to try to figure out what these companies, what type of services they offer, what, depending on what interests us, and like what are the chances are for advancements in that company and things like that, just to give us a better idea on how to choose an internship partner once we get to that stage?
So because the internship partners vary so much cohort to cohort, there isn't any kind of comparison tool, but that is something that I am very involved in the class when the time comes for there to be presentations from the partners. Generally speaking, there's between 7 and 10 companies who partner for every cohort. So the huge list of 144 that we have worked with, that is over our entire history. It's a very small subset for every cohort. So those 7 to 10 come in, give their presentations. You're able to ask questions about what matters to you, and with your notes and talking with your cohort and evaluating the types of projects they've told you about, you'll be able to make evaluations about where you think you would learn the most and grow the most. Again, that is with every partner we bring on, they are one, aware of the level of our students. They know that we don't have any expectations of prior knowledge before you start with us. They know that people are coming in to Learn Academy with no coding experience, and we are teaching them from the get-go. And that is something that they support. They understand that technology, to find senior engineers, people have to invest in mid-level and junior engineers, and it's a whole timeline of people progressing in this job market. So investing in junior engineers is something they are there to support. They know that where our students are at, they know what we have trained them up in, and they know what they are capable of mentoring and teaching interns while they are with them for that 4-week portion. Does that help answer your question?
Yes, it does. Yes, thank you.
Of course.
Awesome. Thank you, Evelyn. I'm going to pass it over to Scott. You have a question as well.
Yeah, can y'all hear me? Awesome. So yeah, I spoke with Miss Kumba about a week ago. We did our informal interview, and I filled out my application. And I just got my COE from the VA a couple days ago. It turns out they did it for the wrong school. So I had to redo it and resend it. I was just curious, is that the only thing that's really holding me up to, I guess, officially getting accepted into the school?
Go ahead and submit the certificate of eligibility that you have, Scott, because what happens is Vanessa will upload your, if you are accepted into the program, Vanessa will upload your information and let the VA know that you're going to be attending Learn Academy. The most important thing is that you are qualified and that you are approved to be a vet tech recipient. So you can either email the certificate of eligibility to me, or you can log on to your application and upload it in your file. If you have any technical issues, just forward it to my email and then I'll attach it to your file. Okay.
Okay, and just one other thing, if you don't mind. So the Jumpstart is also required for admissions too. So even though I got the COE, I still got to do Jumpstart. And when I do Jumpstart, it's up to the review team whether I get in or not. Correct?
That's correct. So the application attached to your COE, the interview, obviously Jumpstart, and then our committee will review your application and make an admissions decision.
Okay, and about how long does that take?
It'll be a couple days after you finish the Jumpstart, you'll get an admissions decision.
Okay.
So start reviewing on February 21st. Should you be in that first Jumpstart, and then a decision will come out a couple of days after that.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Wonderful. And that actually brings up a great point. I just want to pivot into something, just kind of what Scott was going off. Jumpstart happens every single month. We are doing an additional Jumpstart this month because we have a lot of interest in our program and want to help get everybody into Jumpstart as quickly as possible. So we have a Jumpstart happening on the 17th and 19th of February. That is full. So if you are applied and in that Jumpstart, wonderful. We are so excited to see you there. We are doing a Jumpstart the following weekend, the 24th, the 25th, the 26th. So Jumpstart, like we said, is a weekend-long prep course. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We talked a little bit about, you learn all the skills you need for day one. So Jumpstart is a lot of fun. The way to get into Jumpstart is required. So one, we offer Jumpstart to everybody across whoever wants to learn to code. So it's very inclusive. We have that on the website. You can sign up for it there. But once you submit your application and you go through the interview process, Kumba and Marquisa will give you a promo code that then waives the cost of Jumpstart. So getting your application in, going to your interview is the quickest and best way to get into Jumpstart. So it's really important that you do all of those things and get your interview done as quickly as possible, because then that gets you access to Jumpstart. And the quicker you get through Jumpstart, the quicker we can get to an admissions decision. So all of those things are set up to be, in your benefit. Jumpstart, like we said, it's designed to give you an idea of exactly how the program operates. And it's a lot of fun. And you get to work with our instructors and meet some of your classmates. Cool. Yeah, so just a quick things about the dates. Those individuals attending the 24th, the 25th, the 26th Jumpstart, it depends on how many admissions decisions we give out. Kumba will let individuals know if there are spots available. If they're not, Cohorts are they tend to fill up about a month before the start date. Our alpha cohort just filled up recently. That's starting in a few weeks. So, it's really important. And just to let everybody know, like, what's important is everybody you see here, there are a few more applications already in the pipeline. So that's why it's also important to get your application in, get your spot in the enrollment process, and it helps everything flow as quickly as possible. Cool. Paul, I just wanted to turn it over to you real quick. Somebody had a question about average salaries and how long it takes to get a job. So I just wanted you to give, the high level overview on kind of what that looks like.
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to for the average kind of starting salary, but generally speaking, around about sort of 55 to 60 kind of range is pretty usual. And for those that are taking, all of the steps that we've talked about there, about the networking and getting themselves out there, it takes around about, on average, around about 2 months after you've graduated. Again, that's just on average. To get the job once you've graduated.
And TJ, I think there was a great number that recently we talked about. The average salary right now for folks that have been hired is about 78,000, right? That's the average right now. If you can touch base on that a little bit of all the.
I think it just depends, and I'm sure Paul will verify this. What's really important is your experience level. So when you're making a career transition into a new career, you're obviously starting from 0 experience. That's okay, because we help you look at what we call transferable skills. So all of you have a background from some awesome background, and you're bringing a lot of really great skills to the table that are, all of you bring these different transferable skills. We help you identify them. We help you identify what industries will benefit the most from those transferable skills. So that's going to give you the best path into a great career path into tech. So when you're starting from 0 experience, obviously you're on the lower side of the average salary, but what's really important is as you gain that more experience, that's when the average salaries start to increase. So obviously tech and becoming a developer has an awesome outlook right now and moving forward. I mean, there are so many different adjacent technologies that are coming out that are just going to make being a developer a great path forward. So the average salaries is going to be great, but what's really important, the salaries are great, but you have to have a developer mindset. This is a lifetime career path, and you have to really be passionate about learning new things, solving problems, overcoming challenges, collaboration, working with a team. A lot of times it's not just you alone hacking code all day. You're working with people. You have a whole team of developers that you have to work with. So there's a lot of really awesome skills and a really great career path. And the money is a great benefit as well, but you really want to look at it from a holistic level. And Paul has an amazing job, and he helps all of you really discover what that passion is and what life outside of Learn looks like. I just want to say one thing before Forrest, we let you answer any more questions. We answer all the rest of your questions. I just want to be respectful of everybody's time. We're running a little bit over schedule here tonight, so we are about 10 minutes over schedule. There isn't anything left to cover. If anybody wants to hear any more questions we have or any more questions they need to ask, please hang around. We will be here as long as possible. We're also really easy to get a hold of. If you need to get a hold of us, the website chat, we're all on LinkedIn. Please add us. We'd love to reach out with you and connect with you. Our emails, whatever you guys need, we're really available. So get all your questions answered if you have any more. Kumba and Marquista, if you have not submitted your application, again, that is very important. Submit your application, get yourself in the enrollment process. As our cohorts start to fill up, what's really important is if you're in the enrollment process, you have that spot in line, we can then get you into whatever start dates we have available throughout the rest of the year. And since we have a cohort starting every single month, it makes it really accessible to what works for you. Cool. So a lot of information. I'm sorry, it's like a fire hose during one of these, but I hope you learned so much. And again, we're going to send out the recording and send out some follow-up information. So thank you all for joining. Awesome. And now, Forrest, I'm going to pass it back off to you. Do you have any other additional questions that we could help you with?
Yeah, how many hours of coding is required weekly, and how do you keep track of that? And then you guys talked about the salaries. I'm not in it for the money. I think I'm in because I want the challenge. It seems like something fun. But when we talked about the salaries, it includes the base salary and then the stock option along with it, correct?
Yeah, when we're talking about salaries, like we're not getting into the weeds that much. What's great about tech companies is they have all their own exciting benefits, whether it's stock options, health coverage, whatever, those are more average salaries, and you can go on Indeed. Indeed is a great tool if you're looking for salary information. You can put in the exact career path you're looking for, what location you are, and that's another big thing to keep in mind. Where do you live? Developer salaries across the nation are going to vary depending on where you live. So it really depends where you live. Even if it's a remote company, a lot of companies are headquartered in certain areas, and that's the standard of living that they look at. But I hope that answers your question on the salary side. I know you had some questions back on the classroom. Do you mind reiterating that one more time?
Yeah, I mean, how many hours of coding do you require per week for each of us? And then how do you keep track? Say, for instance, because what you teach me and what I do in class, I'm going to actually stay on and do it longer. So is there like a kind of stack program where you tell me, hey, you've coded the most out of your cohort group? I mean, the ranks us or something like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Sarah, it looks like you're going to pop in. Please go ahead.
Yeah. No, we don't have anything that keeps track who codes the most, but we are 9 to 5 in the classroom every day. So everyone's doing, 8 hours worth of work. And our policy outside the classroom is that you should do whatever you need to do to be at your best the next day. For a lot of people, that's going to be studying and practicing the code that we did in class and reviewing material for tomorrow. But you're adults and you get to make your own decisions. And so you should do what is going to make you the most successful for the following day.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you, Forrest. I hope we got to answer all of your questions. If you have any more, again, please gather any that you have. Maybe you go to bed and you wake up tomorrow and you have a few more. That's totally cool. Send us an email. We're always available. Again, we're recording this presentation. It was really awesome to meet you all. What's really cool about these info sessions, it's like the first time we get to meet you all. And then what's really cool, in like 6 months, we get to see you at graduation. So this is an awesome time, and we're really excited for you all to join the Learn community, and have a great rest of your evening.